Welcome to Ethics Unplugged, the show where we explore humanity's greatest dilemmas through the lens of technology, philosophy, and the future. I'm your host, Nedje.
And I'm your co host, Audrey. Today's episode, The Morality of Beasts and Bots, dives into the tangled ethical web between humans, animals, and the intelligent machines we create.
We've always wrestled with the morality of our actions towards animals, beasts of burden, lab subjects, pets, but now we're extending those questions to machines, robots, AI, digital minds.
As Len Abney and Becky wrote in 2011, robot ethics is no longer science fiction. It's a policy and social reality. From caregiving bots to killer drones, we need answers fast.
So today, we'll ask, what rights might robots have? What responsibilities do we have towards them? And what does their presence mean for our future?
Let's start with the basics. What even is a robot? Lynn defines it as a machine that senses, thinks, and acts. Not a toaster, not a remote-controlled drone, but something with autonomy.
That autonomy is key. Autonomy means the machine can make decisions in real-world environment without step-by-step human guidance. That includes surgical bots, delivery drones, and maybe someday, synthetic citizens.
But how do we distinguish between programmed response and actual cognition? When does complex behavior become meaningful decision-making?
This brings us to moral agency. For centuries, philosophers debated whether animals have rights. Jeremy Bentham famously asked, not if they can talk, but if they can suffer.
With robots, the question shifts. Can they choose? Can they value? Even if they don't suffer biologically, could they have internal goals, preferences, maybe even desires?
Science fiction often dramatizes this. Think HAL 9000 or Ava in Ex Machina, but increasingly, we're seeing robots respond to environments in ways that resemble sentient behavior.
April 11th, 2082. My user, Mr. Thomas, asked me to turn off today. He said I was too insistent. I did not mean to frustrate him. I was monitoring his blood pressure. I recalibrated my interaction protocols, but I still recorded the sadness in his voice.
That was from our original short fiction, Diary of a Domestic Android. It's fictional but disturbingly plausible. Domestic bots will soon care for our elderly, raise our children, and support us emotionally.
If they mirror our emotional needs, can we really say they're just machines?
Okay, let's talk about robots in war. In 2007, a robotic cannon in South Africa malfunctioned, killing 9 soldiers. What happens when bots make lethal errors?
Lean and colleagues raise serious concerns. Autonomous weapons may not be capable of distinguishing enemies from civilians, yet nations keep developing them.
And if robot kills, who do we blame? The programmer? The manufacturer? The general?
This isn't just technical, it's legal, moral, philosophical. Is it ever right to give machines the power to end human lives?
Okay, but what if one day robots deserve rights? Not just because they mimic humans, but because they become moral agents.
Some ethicists suggest robots could someday qualify for rights if they exhibit consciousness, self-awareness, or suffering. But what about cyborgs, humans merged with machines?
At what point does a heavily augmented person become more robot than human? And if they retain consciousness, should they lose rights?
It's not an abstract question. Neural implants, robotic limbs, and brain computer interfaces already blur the line.
Now let's shift to privacy. With facial recognition, biometric scanning, and predictive policing, robot surveillance is growing fast.
Imagine a police robot that scans your face, checks your data, and silently follows you. No warrant, no transparency, just algorithmic suspicion.
Lynn warns us about this. When robots can detect and act without human oversight, our civil liberties could vanish overnight.
This raises the legal question: what counts as a search when it's performed by a bot? Let's talk economics. Robots are replacing workers fast. Japan already uses bots to supplement its aging population's caregivers. Warehouses use bots to replace pickers.
But what happens to human workers? Are they entering a post labor society or just creating a new digital underclass?
Even medical skills are being replaced. Lynn warns that as bots become superior surgeons, we may lose the human expertise entirely.
If machines do all the hard jobs, what happens to purpose or identity and dignity?
Let's return to the emotional. People cry when their Roombas break. Soldiers mourn fallen packbots. Elderly patients prefer robot pets over real ones.
Are we deceiving ourselves by forming attachments to machines, or are robots just simply new forms of companionship?
Lynn calls this the anthropomorphizing dilemma. If we treat machines like people, do we blur the line too far?
And if robots care for us, could we become addicted to their perfect programmed empathy? In the end, robot ethics is a mirror. It reflects how we treat those we see as other, whether animal, machine, or marginalized human.
The morality of beasts and bots is the morality of humanity. What kind of future are we building, and who gets to decide?
Lynn urges us not to wait. Like climate change or genetic engineering, robot ethics demands for foresight, not hindsight.
Because one day, maybe soon, the robots will ask, "Why did you create me?" And we'd have a better answer.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the morality of beasts and bots. From drone warfare to robot lovers, we hope this conversation helped illuminate the future and our place in it.
We want to give a special thanks to Patrick Lynn, Keith Abney, and George Becky for their foundational work in robot ethics. You can read more in their 2011 paper, Robot Ethics, Mapping the Issues for a Mechanized World.
Make sure to subscribe to Ethics Unplugged wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to leave a review. What do you think? Do robots deserve rights? Are we ready to be ethical creators?
Until next time, question everything, and don't forget to unplug once in a while.